What is going on, everybody, and welcome on into the Garage Beers Podcast, episode 191. And we are super excited to be joining you here on this Thanksgiving week. Again, we're not live. We're just recording, and we're going to put it out on YouTube and Twitch, and we'll get it out on all the podcast hosts. So not a live stream this week because, frankly, on Thanksgiving Eve, you guys are hanging out with family, friends, people coming in from out of town. So we're not going to we're not going to settle you down to a Wednesday night on Thanksgiving Eve. But we do hope you enjoy the show. We've got a lot of great stuff to talk about here on episode 191. We're going to get into college football, the Browns, the Blue Jackets, and so much more. So we're glad you're here on this holiday weekend. We're thankful for you. We're thankful that you're here. You saw the video to open the show. Now you can use the QR code here. If you click the QR code, get over to the OBR.com. The Orange and Brown Report is the largest, oldest, independent Cleveland Browns coverage site in all of Cleveland. And now through Monday, December 1st, they are running a 75% off deal for an annual VIP subscription. So get over to the OBR.com, hit subscribe, and you get 75% off. You can't go wrong with that. With you as always here tonight on Garage. Well, there he goes.
You sound great.
Listen, it's going to happen all night. You're going to have to deal with it. With you as always tonight, I'm your host, Michael Keefe. Joining me over in Seattle, it's Joey Whalen. On the east side of Cleveland, it's Shad Meyer. Boys, welcome on in, guys. Welcome on in. Let's have a show.
Good to be here, fellas.
Dude, your voice is going to die, and we're not even 5 minutes into the show.
This is a significant improvement, by the way.
I see you holding a beer. Where's the hot toddy?
Nobody got time for that. It's Garage Beers.
Oh, sorry.
Plus, I've had. So you can ask Chad. I showed up to our football game on Friday. Where the hell were we? In Brunswick. I brought my own hot water heater. So I could just make tea all throughout the game.
Nice.
So I've had very few actual drinks over the past week and a half, and I need a beer. I could go for a beer.
All right.
You're gonna need a fucking neti pot, off to the side with it.
That's not the worst idea. You know what? Bring that for me, Chad.
For vocal rest.
Yeah.
Bring it for me, buddy.
Vocal rest.
Yeah,
load management tonight.
Load management. Yeah.
Everybody's gonna have to deal with it. I caught some of the sickness, and now I feel like $1 million, but the voice is just very slow to come back. So we're dealing with it. But here on episode 191, we're fine. We're good.
They still look the same. So
yeah, there's no improvements there. No improvements.
Yeah. No degradation though. So it's all right.
Yeah.
Thank you for saying that.
Not worse.
Or 291, but who's counting?
What the hell's wrong with you?
You said here on episode 191.
Oh, I did say that, didn't I? Yeah, it's 291.
You son of a bitch.
We're so far past 191. I'm so dumb. Sorry.
Catch.
Well, like I said, big show. We're gonna kick things off with a little. It's the week of the game. And so we're going to have a little conversation about Ohio State, Michigan, the college football playoffs, where things stand as of right now, where they're going, and all of that. We'll get into the Browns, Shedeur Sanders, his first start. We'll try to give you a real honest discussion about that as opposed to the nonsense. And frankly, all I seem to hear about this is nonsense.
I might have some nonsense.
There's a very interesting conversation that should be had about the Columbus Blue Jackets that I want to have. So we got a lot of stuff to get to tonight on episode 291 here on this Thanksgiving week, but we can't get to any of it before we do our Garage Beers of the week. So, Chad, you're new to the party here. Why don't you let us know? Let us know what you're drinking.
Yeah, just Labatt's. That's it.
Ooh,
I got 2
Labatt?
Labatt's here. Just simple, plain old Canadian Pilsner Labattness.
Gorgeous.
That's what I got going on here, boys.
Gorgeous.
Nothing fancy tonight. Just simple Labatt.
Love it. Joe, what are you drinking?
I got it's from San Diego. I think the brewery's called Tap Room. It's not quite obvious. This is Superstar Fresh Hop Double IPA.
Jesus Christ.
It's West Coast with Amarillo and
Bam, bam,
What
bam.
the hell does any of that mean? I don't know. It's an 8% beer. It looks great. Tastes great. It's delicious. It's another fresh hop beer. And it's quite tasty. I think they make up all these names though of like the hops and descriptions.
Those are fresh Amarillo hops.
Kind of a fun can, I guess. It's,
Hell yeah.
Yeah. Quite tasty though.
People in San Diego are really missing out if there isn't a brewery called San Diego and like having beers called like a whale's vagina.
Yes.
Or like when in Rome, or like when in Rome.
I've heard San Diego's beer scene is pretty elite.
It is. It's a great beer scene.
Yeah.
That's where Stone is, right? Isn't that where Stone something?
Stone is there, Ballast Point.
Yeah,
there's good beers out there. It's kind of like that brewery out in Sandusky over here, boys. That Clag Brewing Company, and all of their beers are named after having something to do with Tommy Boy.
Let's go.
Yeah.
Okay.
Excellent.
Very fun.
I'm going to go back to Great Lakes. Only because when you buy a crowler, I feel like you got to drink them pretty quickly.
Oh yeah.
So last week I had the pumpkin beer crowler that I bought down there, but I bought 2 crowlers. The other one I bought was this test batch IPA.
Ooh, that's good.
That they put out. So it's the Great Lakes test batch IPA crowler, the whole size of my head. And that's what it looks like. It is a hazy, delicious New England style IPA. And we just had like a little taste of it while we were down there. And I was like, yep, I'll take a whole ass crowler of that home. And that's what I'm having tonight.
Yeah, we had that when we went a couple weeks ago. Fuego.
Yeah, very, very good. So those are our garage beers of the week. Obviously, we're not doing this live, so don't get in the comments and tell us anything because we're not going to see it. But if you got a beer you want us to try, if you got a beer you want to suggest for us on the show, get over to the socials, go to the Garage Beers, let us know, and we will test them out and call you out and all that stuff for it. So, guys, now let's get into the meat and potatoes of episode 291. And let's start on the college football side of things, because when the game rolls around, there's only one place that you can start. When I know all the Ohio State fans want to call them that team up north, but unfortunately you have to call them Michigan at this point. When the Michigan Wolverines team that has beaten the Ohio State Buckeyes 4 straight, including last year, in a game that Michigan had no business winning. No business. Right now, the Michigan Wolverines have the number of the Ohio State Buckeyes. This season has been a season of dominance for the Buckeyes. It's been a season of answering all the critics that have had anything to say about their national championship run of last year. They have played such dominant football that it's got people questioning whether or not they're any good. That's how dominant they've been. They've been so dominant that people are questioning whether they're really good or not, because they blow everybody out. And now it comes down to this. They have won every game of the season, and now we're on to the last one of the regular season. It's in Ann Arbor. It's Ohio State. It's Michigan. This is the checkbox, boys. I don't want to go crazy. I don't think anybody on the show is going to say you got to win this if you're Ryan Day or you're getting fired. No, that's bullshit. But this is like Ryan Day's last check mark. He's got to get this game. You got to go up and put your foot down and win this game.
Yeah, I mean, look, I don't think there's any conversation of like Ryan Day must win this to get fired, or else he gets fired, especially coming off a national championship run last year, and a very high probability that there can be a repeat appearance, at least in the national championship game. And Ryan Day's also edging himself into a category of elite and all-time coaches with the way he's run this team, minus this series against Michigan. I mean, it's just the weirdest anomaly. He every year, aside for the one game he won against Michigan, he just turns into a completely different coach. Like, just the play calling is off. They just seem not physical. They make just horrible decisions. And yeah, this has to be a checkbox. Like this has to get done this year. You have one of the best defenses I've ever seen at Ohio State playing right now, the way that they're dismantling and stopping teams. You have to lean on that. And you have a potential Heisman quarterback again. Lean on that. Like there's too many avenues of success here. And the way that they're going to lose this game is, again, not winning the battle in the trenches and not leaning on their star players, doing some fancy trick stuff. Throw it to Carnell Tate, throw it to Jeremiah Smith, get the ball moving downfield and open up this game. And gosh, I hope things work out. But man, am I nervous for Saturday.
Well, here we are, guys. Here we are. Another year has come, and we're here at this week for the game. Team up north, Michigan. Another year where you are clearly the better team than Michigan, where you are clearly the better team. All you have to do is go out there and play like it. And that's it. You're the more skilled, you're the more talented team. You've got to use that to the best of your ability, like Joey just said. Right? I'm not worried about the defense, right? Defense travels. Right? It's the offense that has to you have to have the right game plan, right? Michigan's going to try to muddy this up. Michigan's going to try to make this game ugly. Michigan's going to try to get after Julian Sayin. And Julian Sayin is as cool as the other side of the pillow when it comes to pressure, right? He doesn't make mistakes, right? He's going to make the smart play. You just have to have if you have the proper offensive game plan, you're going to win this game. Ohio State's defense is going to suffocate Bryce Underwood. They're going to suffocate this running game, right? You just have to not get out of your own way and not try to out Michigan, and you should win this game going away. You should. That being said, Michigan's going to win this game 24-20.
We're not onto the predictions yet. Slow down.
We're not onto the predictions yet, but it's a prove it, right? It's a you're gonna what I don't know what a proper analogy is, but innocent until proven guilty, or guilty until proven innocent type situation, right? Like
that's not it.
Right? That's the type of analogy I'm trying to make.
Guilty.
Right? You're gonna lose until I see otherwise, because this is a mental hurdle that this team and Ryan Day have yet to get over. And it's gotten to the point now where I cannot trust this team coming into this week. They should win. Everything on paper says they should win, but they've got to go out there and do it.
Yeah. Hey, listen, this is a 9-2 Michigan team. Their first loss.
Much better than last year.
Oh, it is a much better Michigan team than they were last year. They're 9-2. Their two losses are to Oklahoma, which was a hard-fought, tough game that Oklahoma had to come back and win at the end. And then they got their doors blown off by USC out in LA. That's USC's not the worst team in the world, but to go out there and get your doors blown off is not a great loss. It's a better team than what they saw last year, but I keep going back to the conversation we had with Mecca Don a couple weeks ago. And I'm buying the fact that I think winning the national championship last year and going through some of the bullshit, right? Going through Chip Kelly leaving, which was fine. It's not like he left on bad terms. Going through Jim Knowles leaving on bad terms. And then bringing in, Hartline's been around. It's not like you brought in a new coach, but making Hartline the offensive coordinator, when again he had that responsibility once before and it wasn't great. And bringing in Matt Patricia and handing the reins over to the defense, which again the best thing they did all year was that. I think Ryan Day is a different coach. I see him as a different coach. I see him not as worried about the bullshit anymore. I see him not as high school girl dramatic about shit anymore. I look at Ryan Day on the sidelines and I see a guy that is just, I think he's a killer. I think Ryan Day, guys, I think it took him a minute to work his way to where I think he is, but I think Ryan Day is an absolute killer of a head football coach for the Ohio State Buckeyes. And I think that's going to be the difference in this game, is that there's no more going into this game, Ohio State, Michigan, let's get into the trenches and muddy this thing up. I think you're going to see Ohio State just play their game. And that means I think you're going to see Julian Say and airing it out. And I think you're going to see, you got Cardell Tate. He's been resting for a couple weeks now. Jeremiah Smith got some rest last week. Not that it mattered, because you still have Brandon Innes out there catching all the passes. You're going to get your guys back. Your defense is still the best in the country. And I think they're going to go into full-on attack mode. And to be honest with you, if they don't, I'm not going to call for anybody's job, but shame on them if they don't. You're Ohio State. You don't need to muddy the game up against Michigan. Forget that.
Mm-hmm.
Michigan wants to muddy the game up against you. You go out there, you keep it clean, and you just air it out. They'll have no answers.
Defense is going to need to muddy it up. That Ohio State defense is going to need to be physical at the point of attack, which they will be. Matt Patricia, that's the biggest that's the biggest thing I'm looking forward to, even more than the more than the offensive game plan, is just to see what weaknesses Patricia takes away, right? Is to see not weaknesses they exploit, and the best thing that they do to take it away, right? Underwood has been okay this year, right? He's come in with all a highly touted prospect, but he's been good, but he hasn't been great. So Matt Patricia, I think, is going to just be able to confuse him all day long, right? Like Wink Martindale, is a terrific defensive coordinator too. I think the two defensive coordinators watching their game plan is going to be fascinating to me in this game because they are both very, very, very good defensive coordinators and are going to try to confuse the shit out of both of these quarterbacks. I think Patricia's a little better at it, and Ohio State has the more talented defense in this game, but I think it's going to be just interesting to watch.
Yeah. Just a couple of little notes on the game. Michigan, again, 9-2, 5-0 at home, though. They have not lost a game at home in the Big House this year, so that certainly plays into things. But listen to the team numbers, guys. If we just talk about points for, points against, Ohio State has scored about 100 more points than Michigan has this year. Ohio State has scored 417 points. Michigan has scored 322 points against. Michigan has allowed 197 points this year. Ohio State has allowed on the season 84 points.
Yeah.
Wow.
That defense is going to come to eat. They're going to come to eat. And I almost feel like, from a defensive perspective, guys, one of the concerns that we've brought out through the course of the year is they're not the most prolific pass rushing team. When you get used to watching the Bosas roll through and Chase Young and Jack Sawyer and JT Tuimoloau and those guys roll through that are prolific pass rushers, when the Ohio State defense plays the way they do this year, they certainly create havoc and pressure in the backfield, but there isn't that one or two guys. Now, Arvell Reese has become that guy, but he's so much more than just a pass rusher, so I don't want to just call him that. But there isn't that one prolific pass rushing, that guy's going to win all the time. But I actually think it helps you in a game against a guy like Underwood, where he's going to want to get out and get on the run and use his legs. And I'm not going to say he wants to run a lot. He wants to throw the ball, but he wants to spread the pocket, get away from traffic, get away from pressure, create some throwing lanes. And I think Ohio State's defense, the way they get sideline to sideline and spread things out, he's going to have a really hard time doing that. It's going to be very difficult for them to move the pocket against Ohio State.
Yeah. I mean, it's an athletic Ohio State defense. I mean, from Arvell Reese to Sonny Styles to obviously Caleb Downs. I mean, it's gonna be tough sledding for him.
Yeah.
But at the same time, if you let him get outside of you, he can kill you. He can kill you. He's very good at keeping his eyes downfield and finding an open man. If you don't get to him, or if you don't get him off his spot, if you don't make him make a decision before he's ready to. So yeah, I don't know. Everything about this game just says that this Ohio State defense is going to suffocate Michigan. But that I think that's, if Michigan is going to be able to do anything, that's going to be the one thing that's going to be able to get to this Ohio State defense is Underwood getting out of the pocket and trying to make things happen.
All right, so for this game, now, Chad, now that we've talked about it a minute, what's your prediction for this one?
27-24 Michigan. Again, I don't, every breath of my fiber of my being says Ohio State's the better team and that they're going to win this game. But this is a prove it year for me, for Ryan Day. Right. So I believe that I'm wrong. I hope that I'm wrong. But until he does it, I've said it many times on this podcast, and I got to stick with it. All right. Otherwise, I'd be going against everything I've said on this podcast. Yeah. Michigan 27, Ohio State 24.
Joe.
I'll take the positive on it. I'll go 28-17 Ohio State. I think 17 is generous for this Michigan offense versus our defense. But because it is the game, I'm going to give them a little leeway to score 2 touchdowns and a field goal. It's 28-17 OSU. Let's go.
Yeah, throughout the course of this season, this has not been the highest powered offense for Michigan against any opponent. I mean, they're very consistently living in the low to mid 20s. Even in wins, now obviously they've had their big, when they played Central Michigan, they put up 60, whatever it was on them. But for the most part, they beat Washington 24-7. They beat Purdue 21-16. They beat Northwestern 24-22. That's where a lot of their scores have lived. And that kind of stuff isn't going to cut it. And so Ohio State comes in as a 9.5-point favorite. I will take Ohio State in the points all day. I think Ohio State's winning by 3 touchdowns. I think this may finally be the time where everybody looks at them and goes, oh, wait a minute. Because like I said, boys, I think Ohio State's been so good this year. When you look at all the other good teams, they've had 1 or 2 games where they've struggled against inferior teams. And Ohio State hasn't struggled against anybody.
Nope.
I mean, they had the close game against Texas to start, who was like the number 1 team in the country at the beginning of the season. So they had the close game against Texas to start. But otherwise, Ohio State has struggled against nobody. They've had a hard time with nobody. And I think that's what's led to, I think it's made people go, well, but their schedule must be terrible if they're just blowing teams out like that. And I don't think enough people are looking at it going, oh, no, they're just that good. They're that good week to week. Again, I'll take my A&M team that's 3rd in the country. They've struggled. They struggled against Arkansas. They struggled massively against South Carolina. Michigan has struggled. Alabama's lost games they shouldn't have lost. Georgia has struggled. Every one of these teams has had struggles with teams they probably shouldn't have struggled with. Ohio State hasn't. And I don't know why that automatically makes people go, well, that means their schedule sucks. It doesn't say anything about them. I think it says a ton about them. They are laser focused every single week. And I don't think that's going to change this week, guys. Well, I don't think it's going to change.
And people think that because it hasn't been sexy, right? Ohio State's been beating teams 35-3. Ohio State's been beating teams 38 to
Right.
10. Like, it hasn't been the sexy, Ohio State won. They beat Nebraska 72 to 3, 72 to 10. Like, it hasn't been sexy. No, it's been dominant defense and very deliberate and methodical offense. So it's just been a different form of domination. Now, I will say this about the game Saturday. If for some reason Tate and Smith do not play, that completely changes things. It completely changes things.
I'm still taking Ohio State in that game, but they're going to play. They're going to play.
I think they are too, but you got to put it out there just in case, right? We got to be open to maybe they won't, but it looks like everything's trending in the right direction. But getting back to that, it's just been a different type of domination, right? It's Ohio State's fucking awesome. They're so awesome.
Yeah. All right, so. Just real quickly before we get into the college football playoff talk, it's a big weekend in college football, guys. There's a lot of big games going on this week. Who do we got? We got obviously Ohio State, Michigan. It's rivalry week. My boys, the number 3 ranked team in the country, Texas A&M, has got to go to Texas, and that's a Texas team that's been playing pretty well lately. So they got to go to Texas. That's a big game there.
As an A&M fan, do you want to go to the SEC championship game?
Sure, yeah.
I mean, I don't know. It's a discussion you have to have now with the playoff. Do you want to play that extra game? Would you rather have the bye? Would you like?
I here's the thing. I've got my Ohio State hat and I've got my A&M hat. My Ohio State hat says you try to get the best seed you could possibly get your rest, get your bye, whatever. But it's also because Ohio State's in the playoff every year.
Yeah.
This will be the first appearance for Texas A&M in the playoff. And I think they've secured it. I think even if they lose against Texas this week, they are making the playoff. Because if they lose against Texas this week, they'll make it. They won't play in the SEC championship. So there won't be another loss potentially on the horizon. And so my A&M hat says, just get into the playoff. Damn.
All right.
Damn.
All right, fine. And we'll get to see that game Friday night. We don't got to wait till Saturday.
Well, you and I aren't going to watch it, but I'll be paying attention to it for sure.
There you go.
But that's huge. But yes, Chad, my honest answer is of course. One, I want to beat Texas all the time.
Yeah.
Losing to Texas is like Ohio State losing to Michigan. Fuck that. I don't want to do that. But number 2, hell yeah, I want to watch my team play in the SEC championship game. That's fun.
I know it is, but I think conference championship games are going to be dead here in the very, very near future, I think.
And they should be.
Yeah, because of this playoff. So it's like if you want to play in a conference championship game, it's a conversation and thought process you got to have, because you have to be able to manage a roster. You do. But play that extra game.
Yep. Georgia Tech. I think a lot of people just assume Georgia's going to cruise in that game, but that could be a really good game at Georgia Tech. That could be a good game. Miami Pitt.
I'm so interested in that game. I think Pitt would beat them.
The way the ACC has gone this year, Miami Pitt is a big game. Oregon at Washington. If you know anything about the history of those two teams, you know that even in Oregon's years where they were supposed to win the national championship, when they go to Washington, things get real dicey for the Ducks.
Oh, yeah.
And so you got Oregon at Washington this week. You got LSU, Oklahoma. That must be the new rivalry week game. But I know what shambles LSU is, but
the Red Baton Rouge rivalry
Gametownville.
Yeah.
The Death River rivalry.
Valley River shootout.
It's the Undertaker.
Yeah.
You got Vandy in Tennessee.
That could put Vandy in the playoff.
That could put Vandy in the playoff. And you got, of course, you have the Iron Bowl down there in Alabama, between Alabama and Auburn. So just a ton of huge games with a ton of implications this week that there's going to be a little topsy-turviness to this. But as it stands tonight, boys, and again, they They released the most updated college football playoff rankings tonight. So as it stands tonight, here's how things look. I didn't have time to put well, I did have time. I didn't think I was going to have time, but then I had time. Thanks, Chad. But I didn't do it anyways. Here's how it would look. Number 1, Ohio State would take on the winner of Notre Dame and Oklahoma. That's not the easiest draw for Ohio State out of all the potential draws. That's a tough one.
Yeah.
Number 2, Indiana, who, again, probably won't finish at number 2 because Ohio State and Indiana are probably going to play each other before this playoff starts. But if it started right now, number 2, Indiana, would play the winner of Alabama and Ole Miss. Also not the easiest of draws there for Indiana.
No.
Number 3, Texas A&M would play the winner of Miami and Oregon. Also not the easiest of draws for Texas A&M. And number 4, Georgia would play the winner of Tulane and Texas Tech. That's the easiest of the draws. That's you've nailed. Georgia gets. Thank you, Georgia, for squeaking into the top 4. You get the easiest matchups. But that's how it would look right now. So not a ton of changes from last week. But again, I think you have to remember there's a real good likelihood that Texas A&M or Georgia is probably not going to be in the top 4.
Yeah.
There's a really good likelihood Ohio State most certainly Indiana, if they were to lose against Ohio State, it's probably not in the top 4. Tulane is most definitely not in. Right now, everything very much favors either James Madison or North Texas to be the group of 5 winner. So Tulane has got this like little spot here, but they're not going to keep it. But again, Miami, who knows what that's going to be at the end of this year with the ACC and all that. A lot of this is going to get shaken up, but I don't know. Any very passionate thoughts about what you hear about what's going on with college football right now?
How about that? Like, put JMU in. Let's go. Right? They've been so good for so long in FCS, and then, they're dominating the Sun Belt. And Tulane has a shit loss to UTSA. Put JMU in. Like, that's I would love for a Sun Belt team to get in there and mix it up. Would they beat Texas Tech? No, they wouldn't beat Texas Tech, but it would be fun to watch them get in there and mix it up. Right? There is nothing more fun in college football than to watch a team with nothing to lose. And a team like a Sun Belt team, a Fun Belt team,
yes,
would pull out all the stops in that game. That would be probably my most fun game to watch of the first round of the playoff. If like a JMU was facing Texas Tech, it would be so much fun to watch.
Yep. Joe, passionate thoughts?
No.
Nope.
All right.
So then, it obviously goes to, all right, well, let's talk about which teams are kind of the first ones out. And you go over to basically the state of Utah. Because the first 2 teams out in this scenario are BYU and Utah. So BYU and Utah, the first 2 teams out. You've also got Vandy, Michigan. Again, that's the other element to this game for Michigan and Ohio State. Michigan could lock their way into the playoff with a win over Ohio State. They'd have to jump some teams, but a win over Ohio State might jump some teams for you. So Ohio State better be ready for that. So it's BYU, Utah, Vandy, Michigan, Texas are the first teams out. So which, again, I think I said this last week, but let's just catch up this week. We'll have a much clearer picture next week. But this week, which teams that aren't in right now do you think are the favorites to get in? And which teams that are in right now are the ones that you think are they're probably not going to make it?
Fucking Miami. Miami, Tulane, and Like it's kind of bullshit how they just kind of arbitrarily moved up Miami. They were like, my college football playoffs better when Miami U is in the playoffs, is in the mix. No, BYU's earned it, right?
That was an excellent Kermit the Frog right there.
You're welcome.
Oh.
BYU's only loss is to Texas fucking Tech. Like that's
right.
That's they deserve a spot in there over Miami, right? And Utah's only 2 losses are to BYU and Texas Tech. So like
but you can leave that. That's fine if you leave them out, right? Like that's fine. But like you can't leave BYU out if that's how it ends. You can't.
Yeah, no. Yeah, that would be a travesty, right? Especially when you look at Utah or Miami's losses, right? Like that bad loss to SMU. I know they lost to Notre Dame, and they may very well lose. If they lose to Pitt this weekend, they've got to be out, like for good.
Oh, well, if they lose to Pitt this weekend, they are out.
Goodbye. Yeah, outside of that, I don't think there's really any argument to like really keep anybody else out right now. I don't think there is.
Nah, I agree. Yeah. That's this whole system is so much better.
Yeah.
Than any previous iteration.
I'd rather be arguing about these teams than like who should be the.
But there really isn't one. There really, you could sit here today when it's not the finalized look and be like, "Oh, it's Miami in there." They're not gonna be.
Right.
How is Tulane in there? They're not gonna be. But like, and to be honest with you, I'm gonna do a preemptive asshole of the week. A preemptive asshole of the week of mine. I keep seeing these people that just are distraught that the group of 5 team gets one in. That is one of the best parts about this.
Yeah.
And I don't give a shit. Like, I don't give a shit if James Madison makes it and Texas Tech beats him by 60, which I actually don't think would happen. But even if it did happen, that is one of the best parts about this 12-team deal is that those other conferences get a chance. It was my gripe for my entire time I was at Bowling Green.
Yeah.
When I was at Bowling Green, we were a top 20 team pretty much every year. But it always felt like, yeah, that's fine, but it doesn't mean anything because ultimately they're just going to stick you in the Motor City Bowl, and it is what it is. At least one of these teams that has a massive year is going to get a shot. And that should happen every year. Those teams should be playing for something. And I love that they are. So this is, to me, I think it's the ideal setup. I'm cool if they keep it at 12 teams forever.
Yeah, completely agree. I have nothing further, Your Honor.
All right, let's move on from college football. Again, big weekend ahead with Rivalry Week. You'll want to definitely be here next week for episode 292 as we break down Ohio State, Michigan, Texas A&M, all those other big games. But let's move on to some other topics we've got for tonight. Let's move into our midweek or mid-show topic, which is our asshole of the week, which is just kind of somebody who's been an asshole. And I'm going to lead it off because it's very topical to what we've been talking about. But like Lane Kiffin.
Really?
Yeah.
Come on.
All right, fine.
Yeah.
We should talk about that. Right,
I think it's hilarious what he's doing.
Man, Ole Miss, very much like Texas A&M, has never made the college football playoff. They are on the brink. They're probably going to because all they have to do is beat Ole Miss. They're not. In order for Ole Miss to get into the SEC championship game, they need Texas A&M to lose, and they need Alabama to lose to Auburn. So if either one of those teams wins, then Ole Miss is going to beat Mississippi State, and they're going to be in the playoff. And you can't wait 5 fucking minutes, Lane Kiffin, before you're on a private jet to Gainesville. You're on a private jet to Baton Rouge. And it's public as shit. Everybody sees you everywhere. And in the meantime, you got these boys in this locker room for Ole Miss that are like, the fuck is going on with our coach who is courting every team like all he wants to do is get out of here, even though we've got him. They're like the 6th ranked team in the country.
Right.
And all he's doing is taking these visits to other places. This, for all the people, this is my response. And this will forever be my response to all the people that get mad about the transfer portal and players don't have loyalty anymore. And now they want to get paid and players want this and players want that. Look what these motherfucking coaches do. Look at this guy. His team is about to go to the college football playoff, and he can't show these kids enough respect to not just say, I'm not going to do any of this shit until this season's over. Miss me with the bullshit on the players leaving and the players wanting money and the players wanting this and the players wanting that, because in the end, the coaches don't give a shit. They will go for the next $1, the next dollar up.
Well, it ain't $1, and that's probably why they're doing it this way.
I know it ain't $1, but just Lane Kiffin is the ultimate example right now of don't get worked up about kids wanting to make a buck. Don't get worked up about kids wanting to earn playing time because maybe they think they have a shot at the NFL or whatever. Don't get worked up about that. If you're not going to get worked up about how the coaches act, this is bullshit. He's my asshole of the week.
I want to take a different approach. I don't know if Lane Kiffin's the asshole, but just the thought of maybe it is him still. And just the attention he's getting, I know he's a really good coach, but these schools are acting like they're hiring Nick Saban, and Lane Kiffin hasn't won shit.
Whoop.
Yeah.
Whoop.
He's had a couple pretty good teams, but they're acting like he is the next messiah for the Florida and LSU programs. And maybe, but
and he's been at premier programs. It's not like he's been at
this isn't his first rodeo at a big school.
Yeah.
So I don't see it, and I think everyone in this situation's an asshole, including Lane Kiffin. But I think there's AD's to blame in this process as well. Of sure, he's probably the best option to hire, but he hasn't won shit.
Yeah, that's really good. That's a good point.
And he's failed miserably at those bigger programs too.
Yeah,
that is a good point. Who wants to go next? Asshole of the week.
Well, that was mine. So, Chad.
All right.
I think I'm going to go with, I don't know if it's necessarily an asshole of the week, but I just kind of don't agree with it. So maybe the principle of it, I find the asshole of the week, is that the NIL deal passing in Ohio for high schools. I don't know. I don't know that I agree with it to begin with, right? Because I don't know that there's players that bring in enough money, right, to these high schools to merit something. Maybe in Georgia, maybe in California, I don't know, but I don't know. I haven't seen any sort of financial records or anything, but I'm not aware of any athletic departments in this state that are making millions and millions of dollars off of these 4- and 5-star recruits that are going on. So I don't know. In college, I completely get it, right? I mean, these athletic departments are making billions and billions of dollars off the likeness of these guys. But from a high school standpoint, I understand why, right? Because I'm always a guy in favor of, go get your money however you want it. But I just don't see the benefit of it when it comes to high schools, right? I mean, maybe it's from an individual standpoint. Maybe I should be focusing more on the individual player standpoint, but I don't get why why it would attract small businesses in these small towns would make so much more money off of having commercials with these guys. I just don't see it.
Well, all you're doing here, and colleges are different because these are money making. Everybody acts like they're not. Yes, they are. the difference here is, man, here in Ohio especially, the gripe is the growing chasm between these private schools and the public schools. And you're just giving these private schools more ammo to grow the chasm more. Like, that's where you're at. This is where this is going to take you. What I don't know enough of is the rules on, if I guess if a local company wants to bring in a high school kid, I don't know, let's say it's Avon, and, their program is stellar. And I don't know what company in Avon would want to do it, but there's a company in Avon that wants to bring a kid in, do like an
Wahlberg
advertising
Chevrolet
or a marketing thing or something. Like, I don't have an issue with that. I don't have an issue. I never have an issue with somebody making an honest dollar. I never have an issue with that. But, like, it is weird. I agree, it's weird.
Yep. Super weird. Also, like, I think there's a weirdness of just like underage. Like, it's not what high school sports is about. And it's weird that you're adding a financial element into educational programs. Because normally you are paying to play in these programs. Like, these are not, I don't know. It's very strange at that level. I don't like it.
Yeah, I'm not a big fan either. It's just you're throwing an unnecessary thing into high school sports that I don't think needs to be thrown in. Again, I'll argue with it all day on college sports because of how many billions of dollars that is generated,
TV deals and
that's generated, by high school or by college football or college basketball or whatever. They're generating billions and billions of dollars. It's not high school football.
Right.
No, if there's money that's being made, it should be allocated to the programs, towards equipment, towards gear, towards travel. Like, that's where the money should be going.
Yeah.
At a high school level.
Yeah. It's weird. It's weird. I'm not a big fan of it, but I think that's a good one, Chet. All right, boys, let's get into the back half of the show here. And in this back half of the show, let's keep it with football. And let's talk about the Cleveland Browns, who went out to Vegas and decimated the Las Vegas Raiders in a dominant performance. The Browns have only won 3 games this year, but 2 of the 3 games were like the most comfortable, easy victories of all time. There was never a concern when they played the Dolphins that the Dolphins were going to make any kind of comeback in the game. And there was never a concern in this game this week against the Raiders that the Raiders were ever going to get competitive in this game. It was as non-competitive a performance as you could possibly get. So let's go to the big story. Let's go to the big news first.
Miles Garrett. Yeah.
I'm good with starting there.
14 sacks in the last 3 games or 5 games, whatever that is. Unreal.
You have to take a step back and just appreciate what he's doing this season. And it's weird to think that he can topple what he's done in his previous 2 Defensive Player of the Year seasons.
He's already done
it. He's done it. He's done it, and he's going to blow those numbers out of the water. He's going to be just a unanimous choice for AFC Defensive Player of the Year. It's just it's not, it's all of NFL. Sorry. Yeah. But it's just spectacular to watch him. And like, he's having fun. It's a good Miles season.
Guys, how good has he been? Well, let's talk about the fact that he had 3 sacks on Sunday, and I kind of thought he had a slow game. That's how good Miles Garrett has been this year. He had 3 sacks on Sunday, and I thought, come on, Miles, get into it. That's how good he's been. He has 18 sacks through 11 games. The NFL record for sacks in a season is 22.5.
That's right.
It was set by Michael Strahan. It was matched by T.J. Watt. Nobody's ever had more than 22.5 sacks in a season. And Miles Garrett has 18 through 11 games. This is absolutely going to be Miles' first 20-sack season. But more than that, he's getting that sack record, and he's doing it
1,000%.
I think he's doing it in less games.
He's going to blow it out of the water.
30.
Like, I think Miles might hit 30 sacks.
Be unreal.
At this rate.
But I think he's like, I think we're that's not a weird thing to talk about the way he's playing.
No.
Now, this week is going to be a challenge because you're facing Brock Purdy, and that's all they do is just get the ball out of his hands. Get the ball out of Brock Purdy's hands. I don't think it's going to stick in his hands a lot. The way, man, Gino, he just held that ball for a long time. It was nice.
Yeah.
But let's say Miles only manages 1 sack against Brock Purdy, which he's going to get. Then you got Cam Ward coming up. And then you got Caleb Williams coming up. And even though the Bears are having, like, Cam Ward's getting sacked 4 times by Myles Garrett in that game. Even though the Bears are having a good year, Caleb Williams is going to get sacked by Miles a bunch in that game. Like, this whole thing is set up for Miles to just run away with this sack record. It's outrageous to see what he's doing.
And of course, sorry, go ahead.
A couple things different with the team this year that I think are helping this out. One, you have a very consistently healthy Miles, which we have not had in the past couple seasons. 2, we had the best front 4 that we've had in a very long time, and I think that helps kind of spread out the effectiveness of all 4 guys up there. Your linebackers are playing solidly. You're creating problems elsewhere for any offensive line that's going up against this team. And so it's hurting teams to just game plan for Myles Garrett because you have Mason Graham and you have Carson Schlesinger and you have all these other guys that are wreaking havoc on the front line. Like it's only benefiting Miles, which is great.
Yeah, I'd rather have Tack McKinley on the other side of him. No.
Tack McKinley. Yeah.
It's just so fun. I was chuckling, guys, because it was so funny to me that he's going to do this in a wasted season. But
they're still in the hunt.
But you can't. They are still in the hunt. But yeah, you have to sit back and appreciate it. I mean, he's gonna get it. He's gonna 30 sacks would be just otherworldly. And I mean, he's already reached Joe Thomas level, maybe even surpassed Joe Thomas level of production and like favorite Browns to watch of all time. I mean, I don't know how much more you can add right to Miles because anything you say isn't going to be anything that hasn't been already been said about him. It's just a treat to watch a guy like that play on our defensive line.
Yeah, 100%. And Joe, I think, and I think Miles would tell you this. I think you brought up a great point. When you factor in the progression of Isaiah McGuire and Alex Wright on the outside, when you who's the other guy? Oh God, why do I always forget Chad? Rando white dude that is actually good at rushing the
Chad Thomas?
Yeah. Chad Thomas is a good pass rusher. Man, Chad Thomas can play a little bit.
Chads are pretty good at football.
He's pretty decent, man. But then you factor in what's happening up the middle with Collins and with Mike Hall. I mean, man, Mike Hall has made some wild plays. It's almost like everybody kind of forgets to talk about him, but he's been great.
Extend Malik Collins now.
Yes, extend Malik. You've got Mike Hall for years. And Mason. Man, Mason has been so good. I watched somebody do like here's how I would grade the top 10 picks of the NFL draft. They got to Mason Graham, and it was like, C. And I was like, you don't know shit about football, you dumb idiot. Because all they talked about was the stats. And I'm like, unless you're Aaron Donald, you don't get stats at defensive tackle. It's not how that position works. But damn, do you guys remember watching the replay that happened in this game against Vegas? and I believe it was Mason Graham and Malik Collins, where they rushed up the middle and bull rushed the interior linemen and knocked them both on their asses at the same exact time. And Geno Smith, you can almost see Geno Smith's face like, holy shit.
Get rid of it.
If you want to know why Myles Garrett has 18 sacks on the season, it's because now every quarterback he goes up against can't go left, can't go up the middle. He's got nowhere to go. And all of a sudden, the first guy there is going to get the sack, and just so happens that the first guy there happens to be one of the best edge rushers of all time in Myles Garrett, and he is just eating these sacks. And he's doing it because of how dominant this defensive line is. But I will also give a little credit to Jim Schwartz on the defensive side of things, because Jim Schwartz is drawing up a little bit of creative pressure. And it's been what I have begging him to do for years. I love the thought process and idea of, hey, let's have a really talented front four. That way we don't have to blitz, and we can just drop everybody back in coverage and let the front four get after it. The fact of the matter is you're still outnumbered when you do that. It's still 5-4, and you're not going to get home enough times in that situation. You have got to be creative and aggressive and get after the quarterback, and you've got to bring pressure from extra places all over the field that the quarterback doesn't know where it's coming from. And I will tell you, I think Jim Schwartz has been better than that, or better at that than he has been ever in his tenure in Cleveland. They are dialing up these weird exotic blitzes that are perfect. Devin Bush is coming from out of nowhere. Carson Schlesinger, that Devin Bush, I think it was Devin Bush. I think he got a sack on it.
Yeah, his delayed rush.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
It was so great.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden it'll be Grant Delpit, or it'll be Miles Harden coming off the edge. Like, that is creative defensive play calling. And it's finally stepping away from the simplicity of saying, well, our front four can just get pressure, so we're just going to drop everybody back. Listen, if your front four doesn't get pressure, it doesn't matter whether you drop 27 people back. In the NFL, they're going to find open receivers. So you have to make these guys uncomfortable, and they've done a great job of doing it. Great job of doing it.
Yeah, totally agree.
All right, let's talk about the Messiah.
All right, let's get into it, Joe. The other big story about the Cleveland Browns is that Shedeur Sanders gets his first start against the Las Vegas Raiders. And he goes, I think, 11 for 20, just over 200 yards, throws a touchdown, throws an interception, and helps lead the Browns to a decisive victory. So I'll shut up for a minute. Joe, you've got big opinions, so I'm going to let you lead off. Start with give me your opinions on Shedeur Sanders.
Would you say you're going to have some glazing, Joe?
Glazing? It might be a little glazing. I don't know. We'll see. See where it goes.
Let's glaze, buddy.
Look, there's no reason that any other quarterback should start for the Browns the rest of the year. I think we had a great test with Dylan Gabriel, a needed test. You had to see what you would get out of him. And he effectively had the most opportunities to practice with first team. He had a lot of gameplay experience, a lot of kind of cupcake games that I think he probably should have performed better in. And he just wasn't getting it at that point. For Shedeur to come in with a week of practice and perform adequately, I don't think it was an incredible performance. He didn't light up the scoreboard, light up the stat chart, but he played adequately. And I think that's fantastic. We haven't seen any life out of this offense at any point in this season. Now, granted, you had a lot of interesting schemes with Wildcat going on in that game that really kind of was putting Vegas on their heels. But the fact of the matter is you have a quarterback that is confident, Many times cocky and arrogant, but he's confident nonetheless. He is seeming to have good repertoire with the team right now. I know he can run his mouth a good bit, and maybe that comes back to bite him if he makes an ill comment about a teammate. But like, there's no reason you should start anybody else. I know Deshaun Watson's window could open at some point where they could start practicing him. He should not see the light of day unless you're planning to trade him or Shedeur gets hurt. This is a quarterback you have to invest time into right now, and you have to give him grace in the sense that he is coming midway through the season, just starting to get the reps with the first team and build chemistry with the receivers out there, and his offensive line. And so I think there is probably a 4 or 5 game window where it's like, we have to give this guy a shot and see what he has. And then we can make judgment on him. But this is the guy of the future and going forward, not the future, the guy going forward for the team for this season. You have to have some type of idea of what 2026 is going to look like for the Browns. And you will not know that unless you give him every ounce of your attention for the remainder of the season.
Yeah, I think the biggest thing, you mentioned it, Joey, with Dylan, you expected the struggles, right? You expect the struggles with any project quarterback, with any mid to late round quarterback. You expect the struggles. But the most telling part to me that it was like, okay, maybe I'm ready to see Shedeur, was those games where it was like, okay, this is kind of an easier opponent. We should see him be able to cook a little bit. We should be able to see him take shots downfield. We should be able to see him open up the offense a lot more, and we never did. Right? Dylan failed that miserably. He failed at making easy completions. He failed at making, just simple swing passes, just throwing them into the ground. And
non-competitive passes.
And with Shedeur, it was different, right? Shedeur just on that bomb alone to Bond, right?
Oh.
It was a thing of beauty. It was a thing of beauty. Again, and please don't take this as like I'm saying that was it. That's our franchise. That's our future. That's no more. Don't even bother drafting a quarterback in the draft. But what I'm saying is that's something that we haven't seen all year. And that to me alone was the reason why Dylan should not see the field again this year, because you need to see what Shedeur has. You need to see what you have in Shedeur now. I thought I really liked the fact that when they got down to the goal line that they went to the Wildcat formation.
Yes, I agree.
Taking that out of Shedeur's hands, right? It's going to be a little bit more of a crowded box, right? It's going to be a short field, short area to work with. I like that they kind of just saved that, right? You wanted to develop him more a little bit in that area and just let Quinshawn take it from there. I do love that. And then let's talk about the bad. The interception was terrible. The interception was really bad.
It was terrible.
Yeah, it was really bad. He didn't see that defender sitting there, and all he had to do, he was reading his eyes the whole way, and Shedeur basically threw it right to him. All he had to do was sidestep to his left. So I thought that was terrible. But, outside of that, I thought Shedeur showed great. The one thing I think the biggest thing, and I know I'm rambling here, but I think the biggest thing that I noticed that I really did like and that I would like to see more of is that he did not panic when pressure was in his face, right? He didn't backpedal. He got
absolutely smashed on that 50+ yard pass to Isaiah Bond.
Yeah.
He got crushed.
Yeah, he got crushed. He got crushed, but like he didn't take the 30-yard sack.
Yes.
Right? He didn't take the 15 to 30-yard sack that he does, right? He might have held onto the ball a little bit too long, but he didn't backpedal at all. He tried to keep his eyes downfield. He got out of harm's way to try to do something, and there was a lot to like and a lot, some not to like, but it was enough for me to say Shedeur should be starting the rest of the year.
I think it was 80% to like, 20% not to like. And I think that's fabulous. for
For-
Shedeur Sanders.
Yes,
100%.
for coming in
I
week
think-
11.
I think it's fabulous for him. I want to say this. If you have been in the boat that Kevin Stefanski has been sabotaging Shedeur Sanders and they don't want him to play and they're trying to prevent him from succeeding, you no longer have a pot to piss in as far as your argument, because I want to give every ounce of credit that I can. I'm not taking credit away from any players, but I want to give every bit of credit that I can to Kevin Stefanski and Tommy Rees for their offensive game plan in this game. What they did in this game, guys? They took care of Shedeur Sanders. They took care of him. He threw the ball 20 times. And yeah, maybe you got mad that they pulled him for Wildcats in the goal line, but guess what? They also scored 2 touchdowns on those trips. So how mad are you going to get? They did not put him in situations to allow him to kind of go outrageous, too crazy, taking those big sacks or whatever. They put him exactly in a situation to let him play the kind of game that he played. I think the play calling was phenomenal. And to Shedeur's credit, I think he stuck to it in a great way. I think you saw Shedeur go, all right, I'm going to listen to my coaches. They're going to tell me how this game plan is going to go. The Browns built up a lead, and then, man, they just coasted. I think Shedeur was – I give him an A for his game. I think you saw a little bit of – see, for me, my problem, Chad, isn't even the interception. That shit happens. That defensive back made a great play because he went out like he was taking the guy in the flat and then just dropped right off him and just stole that pass. So I'm not even all that mad about that interception. That shit happens in the NFL. The guy made a nice play. And it was a well-drawn-up defensive coverage. But if I'm going with negatives on Shedeur, the biggest one that I can come up with is that Shedeur still struggled a little bit to just find the easy pass to keep a drive alive. Like, I would love to see Shedeur go ahead and hit the 6-yard pass. It's fine. You don't have to ignore it to try to find the 25-yard pass. It's almost the opposite of Dylan Gabriel. Like, what I want to see is a combination of the two guys. Dylan would ignore the 25-yard pass to hit the 3-yard pass. I would like for Shedeur every once in a while to go, whoop, all right, look at what the coverage is. I'm going to have this 4-yard pass right here, and it's going to be better to be in 2nd and 6 than 2nd and 10.
Yeah, good plan. Let's put Shedeur in per person 3rd down. We'll put in Dylan Gabriel for 2nd down and run with that.
No.
Nice 2-quarterback system. Yeah, let's do it.
Yeah, and a righty and lefty too. So the offensive line will have some fun with that.
Oh, wow.
I
That'd be the first righty lefty 2-quarterback system ever in football.
Maybe they should
That'd be
just
sick.
They should just
That'd be
do it.
sick.
Otherwise, though, you saw the boom potential of Shedeur Sanders. You saw he's going to hit on big plays, guys. Everybody is in awe over the throw he made to Isaiah Bond, and frankly, I am too. And frankly, probably the person most in awe of that throw was Isaiah Bond, because how many times have we seen that dude streaking down the field behind the defense and nobody throws him the goddamn ball? And Shedeur finally threw him the ball, and he made a nice play, even though he jumped.
Holy shit, I can't drop this one.
Even though he jumped when he caught it. He did the Isaiah Bond jump.
Amazing.
But I actually think Shedeur's pass to Jerry Jeudy was his best throw of the day. He rolled out to his right. He was getting pressured, and he finessed that ball over the defenders, hit Jerry Jeudy in stride. And if it wasn't for Jerry Jeudy forgetting how to play football, just forgetting how to play, I don't know what the hell that was. Coming to a complete stop and then jumping like you're going to fake all of them out. I don't know what that was. But I thought that throw to me was the best throw he made. That was a beautiful throw. And Guys, I'm all in. I'm all for it. And frankly, what I love about this week, I do my show with Fred, and we recorded that early, and we released it today. We're doing this show. We're recording it today. We're going to release it early tomorrow. What I love about this week is that Shedeur did enough to have Kevin Stefanski go to the podium without hesitation on Monday and say, yeah, Shedeur's going to start on Sunday against the 49ers. That shows you he did a great job on Sunday. I think he did a great job on Sunday.
Second asshole of the week. Stories coming out about him not announcing that on Sunday. Why are we doing that? Why are we putting the expectation that he needs to announce that post game?
Right.
That's crazy. I got so many notifications of like Kevin Stefanski non-committal of who's going to start. It's the game ended 20 minutes ago. Give the man a freaking beat, dude.
I don't want to make this into like a Shedeur love versus Shedeur hate type thing, but frankly, to be honest with you, I think if you're on that side of the spectrum, you're an idiot at this point anyways. But I think if you're addressing this, Chad, I think if you're addressing this honestly, you've got to be pretty happy with what you saw out there.
Oh, yeah. Well, I mean, to Joey's point real quick, I mean, you got to give him a minute to like kind of tell Dylan too. Like,
right.
You think Dylan wants to find out that he's not, like, after he clears concussion protocol, that you think he wants to find out in the media that he's not going to start anymore? But no, I completely agree, Mike. I like if that was Shedeur's floor.
Oh, we're good. Good.
Feels like sky's the limit. It feels like sky's the limit for this. So yeah, absolutely. I'm excited to see what's going what's going to happen going forward.
Now again, the task gets a little tougher this week because the San Francisco defense is better than the Vegas defense, although it's not the same level San Francisco defense as it has been.
No. They have about 76. They have about 76 dudes injured.
No Fred Warner.
Yeah, I mean, so you're still going to have opportunities there to make plays. I do think the San Francisco offense is going to give fits to the Browns because they're going to do everything. Again, Brock Purdy out there, you're going to do everything you can to get the ball out of his hands quick.
Yeah, and Kyle Shanahan scheming it up. Yeah,
it's going to be a challenge, but. Again, for me, it's not even about Shedeur. Here's the thing. I think he has every physical trait you need to be an excellent starting quarterback in the NFL. That arm is a beautiful thing. His release is beautiful. The way he throws the ball is gorgeous.
Yeah.
Everybody talks about how he holds onto the ball too long, and he can do that. But when he throws it, it's a quick release, quick strike, boom, it's out. And I love that about him. If Reese and Stefanski can scheme up the same kind of offense for Shedeur Sanders as they did against Vegas, my only thing that I want to see, like literally, guys, the only thing I want to see improvement on is just go out and sustain a couple drives. We don't need to be the offense that's either 60-yard touchdown or nothing. Go sustain a couple drives. Go hit some passes to extend some drives, to get some first downs. Take what the defense gives you sometimes. That, to me, I think is an area Shedeur really needs to understand the game a little bit more. But to be honest with you, I'm A+, not A+, A for what he did in Vegas, and all I care about is watching what he did. I'm so excited. I'm excited to watch a Browns game, guys.
Yeah. I mean, the 49ers are a team I think the Browns match up quite well with. If there is a good team that I think the Browns have a chance with, and it's obviously from the defensive side of the ball. I think that especially the performance they had last night on Monday Night Football. I mean, Brock Purdy coming back from injury was just in fits against a Carolina Panthers defense. That's okay. They're okay. Threw 3 interceptions in the first half. I don't think he'll be as faulty against the Browns with his throwing, but I think that they can do enough to make him uncomfortable and put him in bad situations. I think, you're probably going to see a little more red zone action from Shedeur this time around, but I would love to keep that Wildcat element, because what that did against the Raiders in a game that we should have won was it put the team in a good position to win the game. It scored when we needed to score. And, I think they're going to ease Shedeur into those red zone opportunities, but I think that should just be something game flow dependent on. If we need to go to the Wildcat because we need a score, just do it. Just do it. It's fine. We don't need to make Shedeur the Tom Brady of the Browns on Sunday. Go win the game. Go figure out a way to win the game. If Shedeur can sustain some drives, if he can get some explosive plays, if he can keep, control the ball and keep it in the Browns' hands on the offensive, keep some offensive possession there. Do that. That's the focus for the game. Don't lose the game for yourselves. Make the 49ers beat you.
Weather game too on Sunday, boys. So that'll add an extra element to it.
Yeah, it's supposed to be snowy.
Yeah, snowy,
yeah, it's
rainy,
great for fantasy, boys.
Grapple.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Twin Sean getting 24 points. I feel it now.
Well, I mean, if he plays, he's injured.
It'll be fun.
Oh, all right.
It'll be fun.
By the way, I hate that I'm going to say this. I think I have to go to the game on Sunday.
I saw.
I think I have to go.
I think you have to. I think you have to.
Once a year they do the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame honoree halftime show thing. And they bring somebody in to play a halftime concert. They're bringing in Big Boy from Outkast on Sunday.
All right.
To play the halftime show. Outkast is my number 1 all-time favorite.
Nice.
I think I have to go.
Okay.
You go.
I don't want to go. I don't want to go. I want to stay home and be warm.
Nah, you're going to go.
To see Big Boy. I feel like I have to.
Stay till halftime then. Just stay till halftime. And then
I might only go for halftime. I might just show up right before halftime and then go right back home.
There you go. Nice.
I'll put the hazards out on the car right outside and be like, I'll be right back.
Guys, getting
10 minutes.
Getting old is awesome.
I know it is. Real quick, around the NFL, boys. What's the next biggest story outside of Cleveland? I'll give you a couple things. New England is 10-2. That is outrageous.
It's
New
outrageous.
England is 10-2. Buffalo struggling a little bit. Buffalo struggling a little bit. New England 10-2. Miami, on the other hand, is like on the heater of heaters. Miami just won't stop winning. They got their doors blown off by the Browns by about 100, and now they won't stop winning. You've got how big was the win for Kansas City this week? They were trailing all game long against Indianapolis, who, again, another one of those teams where it's like, man, they're great. But Kansas City was trailing all game long, and then they came back and tied it right at the end of the game, and they won it in overtime with a field goal. So Kansas City, can you ever count them out? You've got freaking Jacksonville. Of course, we've got their first round pick in a year. They're going to win 10 games. You got the Bears. You get the first place Bears in a division with the Lions. Jahmyr Gibbs scored 65 fantasy points this week.
Yeah, he did.
The Green Bay Packers have the shit that they have. And the first place team in that division is the Chicago Bears.
Let's go bear down, baby.
I don't know. What's the biggest story? What's the biggest thing in the NFL outside of Cleveland?
I think the biggest story for me is the Green Bay Packers. I think they've been horrible this year. There's been expectations for them to be this just absolute dominant team, and they've been average. They've won games they should have won, but they've never been explosive. They've never blown out a team. They're just vanilla as they come. And it's a huge step back for that organization, I feel. Now, granted, they have, what is it? They're 7-4, 8-3, something like that. They have a decent record. Sure. They're still in a playoff spot right now, but that team is underperforming.
Fair.
Like I've never seen a team underperform. You have Micah Parsons on that team. You should be close, damn near close to shutting teams out. You have a more than complimentary core of receivers that just never seem to pop off.
I think the receivers suck real bad.
I mean, maybe.
I think they're
they sure use a lot of them.
I think that's a wildly overblown core of receivers that really I actually think their skill position players suck real bad.
Now, granted,
real
you have
bad.
a Josh Jacobs injury, so like
That doesn't help.
Doesn't
But
help.
we're relying on Romeo Dubs. And
Yeah,
Christian Watson.
we also have a healthy Christian Watson back.
Who
who's
gives
not...
a shit about a healthy Christian Watson? He does nothing.
All right, yeah, I was getting to that point. But,
They're like Brown's level of like wide receivers.
They are.
They drafted Matthew Golden. Here's the thing: they drafted Matthew Golden in the first round, and he's done nothing. Nothing. He has done nothing. Next to nothing. What's worse than nothing? And I thought Matthew Golden was the best wide receiver to come out of college.
Yeah,
and they cannot utilize him.
Yeah,
in a year where they have bad wide receiver play, they can't utilize him. That wide receiver room's a joke.
This is the team that I think is fringe playoff at best. I have a feeling that they're not going to make it. I feel like the 49ers, Rams, Seahawks, Lions, Bears all have a way better chance to sneak in one of those wild card spots, whoever doesn't win those divisions, than the Green Bay Packers do. And I think it's just like, I think that's crazy.
Chad, what about you? What's your big storyline in the NFL right now?
I mean, I think the Chiefs are an interesting team to watch right now, because every time you think they're out, they always end up winning the game right now. But at the same time, they're also like, they're in the hunt. Like, they're not in, right? They're not making enough. It's like they're not making enough winning plays, but they're also still winning some games. But at the same time, they're worse than last year. But at the same time, I would take this Chiefs team to beat last year's Chiefs team. Like, it's a weird thing going on with the Chiefs right now. Sam Darnold. You think Minnesota's missing Sam Darnold right now?
Jesus.
Fucking JJ McCarthy is god awful. No, excuse me. 9 is god awful.
Terrible. Okay?
He's terrible. And then who saw this coming out of Jackson Smith and Jigba? I mean, he was a slot. He was a slot receiver. Everybody's saying slot receiver. Well, I'd say he's proving everybody wrong.
That's the story of the season right there.
Well, but it's him. It's Ohio State receivers are the story of the season. It's Emeka Egbuka is easily the leading receiver for Tampa. It's Chris Olave on a shit ass New Orleans Saints offense. Chris Olave is still putting up numbers,
right?
Like these dudes. Marvin Harrison's even coming around. Garrett Wilson, nobody could come around on the Jets, but like these Ohio State wide receivers. That's why I'm sitting here going, "Hey Browns. You know that Carnell Tate guy? Take him. Take him.
Yeah.
Because no Ohio State wide receiver comes out and is bad. None of them.
Right.
None of them.
Right.
Yeah.
All right. Well, Browns, 49ers. I don't think we gave our official score predictions. So, Joe, give me your official score prediction. Browns.
Yeah,
49ers.
I think this is reminiscent of the game from 2 years ago, where it's going to be a very close one-score game, low scoring. I don't think either team hits 20 points. I'm just going to repeat it and do 19-17 Browns.
Chad.
Okay. 20-17 Niners.
It's fair. I'm for now at least. I'm gonna buy into the hype. I'm gonna buy into the Shedeur hype. I think the Browns are gonna make one or two big plays that separate them from the 49ers in this game. I just think that's the element that Shedeur brings to the game. So I'm going to say 24-16.
Okay.
Browns beat the 49ers. I think they're going to make those big plays and win next game. And when they lose 29-3, I'm also not going to be surprised. I'm also not going to be surprised.
Same Z's.
All right, last topic that I had for tonight, guys, but I want to talk about this. Let's go to the Columbus Blue Jackets for a minute.
They're pissing me off.
Yeah, and they're pissing everybody off. They have regressed, and it fucking sucks. But I don't want to talk about that. What I want to talk about is this this topic that got brought up with Bill Simmons.
Oh,
and Chad, I don't know if you saw it. It sounds like you saw it. Joe,
yeah,
I think you saw it.
I saw it.
So I want to frame this fairly because I think Bill Simmons is getting crushed for no good reason. But they did a topic on his podcast where they said, what's the most irrelevant sports franchise in the Big Four? And what everybody is boiling this down to is that they really came down to the Blue Jackets. And they called the Blue Jackets the most irrelevant franchise in sports. But I feel like so many people are so ready to get their feelings hurt. The reality is there was a long conversation and they brought up a lot of teams. And then like kind of towards the end of the conversation, somebody was like, oh God, what about the Blue Jackets? And then they all kind of dove in. And Bill Simmons incorrectly stated a couple things, but pretty correctly said that for 25 years, the Blue Jackets have never contended. And I think if you're not from Columbus, they're one of the first teams you forget exists. And I'm going to tell you something, boys. And this is no slight to the Blue Jackets. You know, we love them. I think I agree. I think the Columbus Blue Jackets are the most irrelevant sports team in all the Big Four.
I had a tough time thinking about teams that might be in that category. We talked about maybe the Charlotte Hornets. You have the Pittsburgh.
It's a very good one.
Yeah.
The New Orleans Pelicans.
Yeah, the New Orleans Pelicans. You know, I
The
think there's
Cleveland Browns.
Yeah, but the Cleveland Browns have had relevancy. Like,
yeah, that's true. They
long ass time ago, but like they've had relevancy.
It's true.
So I don't think you can quite put them in that category. I mean, you put them in the category of just like the worst team in sports today, but maybe not, you know, most irrelevant of all time. I kind of think it's those four that I can think of. So Jackets, Pelicans, Hornets, and the Pirates.
Chad, do you have anybody we're leaving out?
What about the Charlotte Bobcats?
Well,
don't exist anymore. I'm racking my brain right now.
I so want to put Tampa Bay Rays in there.
No, but
but they've had years.
Yeah,
they've had plenty.
They've had years. I mean, you before Anthony Edwards showed up, you could put the Timberwolves in there.
Yeah.
I don't think there's anything.
The Minnesota Wild, maybe.
No,
they've made some playoff runs.
They've made some playoff run. Well, they've made the playoffs a lot. They can't. They're one of those can't get out of the first round teams, but they've made the playoffs at least.
I mean, there's nobody else in baseball.
I mean, the Twins. Could you put the Twins there?
No, I mean, think about the Joe Mauer, Justin Morneau days. Like they made runs.
That's true. That's true.
That was good. Those are some good teams.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean,
the Royals made the World Series. The Mets made the World Series. The Nationals won a World Series. Like,
well, Mike, you and I
no-
talked about the Mariners, who have never made the World Series, but obviously they've had a huge run this year, and they had their runs in the late 90s, early 2000s.
Yeah,
that
the
were-
Mariners have had plenty of runs.
Yeah.
And they've
I don't
also
think
had
there's-
and
yeah.
the Mariners have also had plenty of iconic players in baseball. Like that's the other thing. Like we're talking about relevancy. You can talk about the Mariners and they've never made a World Series, but Ken Griffey Jr. is one of the all-time greatest players that ever played. Ichiro and Randy Johnson and Jay Buhner. Like you could list these dudes off that have played for that franchise. Here's what I'm going to say.
The Angels?
The Angels won the World Series in the early 2000s.
Oh, that's true.
Nah.
This is not meant to be a slight. And to be honest with you, when I listened to the Bill Simmons show, I don't think they meant it as a slight. I think they were really honestly trying to figure it out. I don't think you can come up with a more irrelevant franchise than the Columbus Blue Jackets. It's not meant to be a slight. It's not meant to be. They've been around since the year 2000. And their crowning accomplishment is that 2 times they've made it out of the first round.
Yeah,
that's outrageous. That's outrageous. And your best player is Rick Nash, and he was really great. But he's not. It's not like they've hosted this. Kind of like what I talked about with the Mariners, Joe. They've hosted this lineup of Hall of Fame talent. You've had Rick Nash and a bunch of good players
that have left, like Sergei Bobrovsky and Artemi Panarin. Like you've had really good talent,
or you've had like Hall of Fame talent that have like played the last year of their career in Columbus.
Yeah,
but like, I don't mean to do this to put down the Blue Jackets, but I think it's right. I have no argument against it. I actually think it's right. And I think it should be the driving factor for Don Waddell and for Dean Evison and the people that run the Columbus Blue Jackets. It should be the driving factor. 25 years of never one-time contending. Never.
Is that what were they basing it off of?
Everything. They were basing it off of contention and wins and titles and players and they based it off of everything. I want to give credit to the fact that I thought it was an honest conversation.
Yeah. Huh. Interesting. Okay.
Yeah.
We just got to make sure we don't say it on Twitter because we don't want to get in trouble with them.
No, listen. It's not a slight on the organization. It's not meant to be. We love the Columbus Blue Jackets. We are a part of that Blue Jackets family. I can't argue this point though. What am I going to argue? All right, Chad, Joe, if you were going to argue this point and be like, no, it's not Columbus, where are you going?
No, that's it. I mean, Joey mentioned
nope.
the teams.
Nowhere.
The teams. Like, I mean, Charlotte Hornets is the next closest one. That's for sure.
Yeah. And they're right there.
Maybe the Utah Jazz.
I mean, Stockton Malone and playing Jordan in the finals and Charlotte. Charlotte's probably the Charlotte Hornets are probably the next one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But they also have a history.
Outside of that
Muggsy Bogues, Del Curry, and like
they're older.
Outside of that first year, could you put the Jaguars in there? I mean, I know the first year they made the AFC Championship, but like, could you put the Jags in there?
I think the Jags. I think the Browns are easily, infinitely over the last 30 years the most irrelevant franchise in the NFL.
Absolutely not. This is an all-time irrelevancy. I think you can put the Jags in there.
Oh, I don't think so. The Jags have been to the AFC Championship multiple times.
Twice, maybe.
Okay.
What year with Blake freaking Bortles, dude? Like,
Yeah.
Come on.
They had the David Garrard years.
Oh, well, never mind. I was about to say the Sacramento Kings, but then there was the Weber and the Divac years and the Stojakovic.
The only reason the Kings didn't win a championship was because the LA Lakers existed.
Yeah.
Like that was it.
But those were the only couple of years, though, that the Kings were ever relevant.
Yeah, but the Kings fall into the same category as the Orlando Magic.
Yeah.
There's a lot of those kind of teams, but they've been relevant.
Yeah.
You know, Shaq in the Orlando Magic win to the NBA Finals. He got his ass smashed by Hakeem Olajuwon, but like they were there. Listen, this is
The
not
better question is time of team inception to relevancy. That's the better conversation. Like,
Sure.
Is it weird that the Blue Jackets have gone 25, 30 years without, not 30 years, but have gone 25 plus years without relevancy? Or are some of these teams that we're thinking of that are obscure, that have had something like 60 years ago, like the Browns, like maybe there's a window of inception to
here's the thing.
irrelevancy.
Here's the thing. I think let's take two of the most irrelevant franchises in sports over the last 25 plus years. It's the Browns and the Blue Jackets.
Both from Ohio. Awesome.
Hey, make the argument.
Yeah.
You can throw more if you're going last 25.
No, I'm just saying if you're going last 25, make the argument between those two teams. Go.
Like, who's less? No one. You can't.
The Browns are the most irrelevant team.
Why
Hands
they made
down.
the playoffs more?
Twice.
They're
Same.
tied. They're
No,
tied.
no, twice. And the Blue Jackets have made 4 times, right?
And how many times the Browns? Like I don't know. I feel like they're
Well,
on.
it's tough though because the
on.
Browns have had number 1 defenses. They've had really prolific offenses like twice.
I think it's probably spot on. If you're gonna say just like this century,
Yeah.
okay,
Yeah. All right. Yeah.
Welcome to Cleveland. Welcome to Ohio, boys.
Yay.
I guess my whole point of bringing this up is I saw a lot of Blue Jackets fans get really riled up about this. And the fact of the matter is, it's not wrong. It's not wrong. You can't argue it. There's one or two other franchises that you could be like, but look, they suck too. And like the Hornets or the Browns or whatever. And that's fair, but you're right in the conversation. And until you're not, you are. And like that has to be the focus for the guys running the Blue Jackets. We all root for them to succeed. We all want them to be great. We want the Columbus Blue Jackets to have a goddamn dynasty and win Stanley Cups and like do the impossible. For 25 years, all we have had to celebrate is one playoff victory. That's it. That's all we've had to celebrate. Oh, we got out of the first round a couple of times. Great. That's irrelevancy. The only thing that I think they missed in the conversation with Bill Simmons was that the Blue Jackets fans are some of the best in hockey. And that Columbus fans sell out that arena no matter how bad the team is. And I think they missed that in the conversation. Otherwise, though, I can't argue with it. I can't argue.
You know, the Hornets, even when they were the Bobcats, have made the playoffs 10 times. I didn't know that. I had no idea. Last time they made it was 2015-16. If I didn't just Google that, I would have thought it's been 50 years since the Hornets made the playoffs.
Yeah,
for sure. 100%. All right, boys. Let's wrap this one up and let's get out of here on this Thanksgiving week. And let's do our cheers of the week. So who wants to start it? Chad, Joe, either one of you. Go ahead and start with cheers of the week.
Yeah, I don't know if this is a cheer or an asshole. But it's to you, Mike. I've left my text messages up on my computer during the entirety of this podcast. And while we were waiting to start, you had sent 2 GIFs or GIFs, however you want to pronounce it, to our group. And they're of butter being added to turkey in very interesting ways. The first
Sexually.
one is a guy.
Such a turn on. Wait, what?
Like finger deep in a stick of butter, rubbing it around.
Joey, say it slower. Say it slower.
He said finger deep.
And it's disturbing on many accounts. But the most disturbing account, I think, is how deep the butter is between his fingers. Like he's really grabbing the butter, and
you're gonna lick off this butter, boy.
The second one is it seems to be a like twerking turkey
in gravy,
butter being poured over.
Not butter, that's gravy.
The rear end of the gravy. Oh, well, that makes it a little more interesting.
And she is twerking that thing. All right, and don't you kink shame her.
I threw dollars at it. I threw dollars at it, Joey.
Yeah, I mean, she's doing great. Good for her. The guy it feels a little off. But cheers. I hope your turkeys are buttered. Yeah, there's the twerking turkey. Let's go look at the fingers in the butter real quick. Want to bring that one up? Yeah, I just don't like how much he's like really gripping into that butter.
Just
I liked it.
That's
why I said it. I liked it.
So yeah, I hope your butters and turkeys are having a happy marriage in the oven. I hope everyone has some great time with their family. So cheers to everyone that's listening to this on the Thanksgiving week. I hope your Thanksgivings are wonderful, delightful, and the Browns bring you a great present on Sunday.
Booyah!
That was gonna be my cheers too. So just
the finger deep in the butter, or
yes.
All right, fair.
To the fans, to the people that listen.
Yeah, my ultimate cheers is going to go out to all of you, but my secondary cheers, Chad, you're going to understand this. Joe, someday you might. My cheers goes out to my seed, my swimmers. They're going away tomorrow. They leave forever tomorrow. My little swimmers down there, and they served me well, and they brought me 2 children. And thank God they didn't bring me any more. But my little swimmers, my little big head, little tail swimmers, they're leaving this earth tomorrow. And I've already got the sack of peas in the freezer ready to go for icing purposes. But I got to give a shout out because they served me very well.
Yeah, cheers to Michael's balls.
Oh man. Oh shit. All right. Well, all right, let's get out of here. Episode 291 in the books. Again, not live. If you're tuning in, we appreciate you doing it. Remember, you can always catch us on YouTube, Twitch, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, iHeart, wherever you get your podcasts. But shout out to you for joining us. Last order of business are our thank yous. Big thank you to the OBR for hosting us. Get over to the OBR.com. Make sure you hit subscribe for the 75% off VIP subscription package. That's happening now through Monday, the 1st of December. Here it is, the QR code right here. But big shout out to the OBR for hosting us. Big shout out to you guys, Chad, Joe, for just changing the schedule and being on. Appreciate you, Chad. I'll see you Friday night, buddy. I'll see you Friday night. Chad and I are going to be coming at you live from Akron Infocision Stadium, home of the Zips, for Avon versus Walsh Jesuit in the Final Four matchup of Division II in the state. Cannot wait for it. Cannot wait for it.
Shit.
That's going to be a great
Avon beat
Avon didn't just beat Highland. Avon dominated Highland. It wasn't even close.
It sure did.
What?
But they're going to have their hands full this week against Walsh. going to have their hands full. And if you want to listen to it, you get over to WEOL and you listen to it because Chad and I are going to be on the call. So shout out to that because I wanted to give it a little bit of credit. We're going to do it. Final Four game from Akron Infocision Stadium coming at you this Friday. Again, last shout out, biggest shout out goes to everybody that tunes in to episode 292 or 291, excuse me. Whether you watched us on YouTube, Twitch, Spotify, iHeart, Apple, whatever, we appreciate, we thank you. And we hope you have a great Thanksgiving with your family. Enjoy a few days off of work. Enjoy a few days home with the fam. And we will see you next week for episode 292. Until then, that's Joey out in Seattle. That's Chad on the east side of Cleveland. I'm Michael Keefe. We'll see you next week. This has been Garage Beers. Until then, cheers, everybody.